today we're going to make a pressed juice recipe. The recipe we're making is orange, carrot, and pineapple. This is a great post-workout drink, and what you'll need is 1 pineapple. We're only going to use half of it. 3 to 4 oranges. We're going to prep them all, and if you don't use them, that's fine. And depending on the size of your carrots, you'll need about 5 to 6. So if they're about this size, probably just 5. But as you can see, we have all shapes and sizes. And you also need some black pepper and turmeric. I've seen this recipe call for some flax, so if you have that in your kitchen, fine. But I find that most people do have turmeric and black pepper. So the first thing we're going to do is prep the pineapple. And we're only going to use half. But the easiest way that I find to cut a pineapple to prep, and this is something my husband taught me, is to go ahead and chop off the top here. I'm gonna throw that in the trash. And then what you do is just take off the sides. So this causes less waste. Just wanna chop it down on the sides here. Take off the rough edge. Once you have all your sides cut down, you can go through and just take off some of the extra sides like you see here. The key to juicing, and for my juicer, is that anything that you eat is what you put through the juicer. So just check the instructions on the juicer you're using to see what type of prep you need to do. And once all the sides are gone, just flip it over and take off that bottom piece. Okay, so once you have that off, just go ahead and throw all of that in the trash. And then we'll get to the second part of cutting the pineapple. All right, so once you have your pineapple ready, you want to just go ahead and slice it straight down the middle. And because we're only using half, I'm going to just keep the other half over here and focus on this half. So how we do this, we're going to feed it straight down, so you don't need to make chunks. What you want to do is cut it in half one more time and just make some long chunks. So cut it again and cut it one more time. And you want to have your chunks about like this or this, so it can fit through the tube and go straight down through the juicer. So now we're going to prep the oranges, and again we're just going to feed what we actually eat through the juicer. So what I like to do is cut these down the middle like this. Hold on to them so they don't run away. And then I put them down here and then cut them into little wedges. So typically this will be fine, but we'll just go ahead and cut it into 4 wedges each. And then once you get your wedges, what you want to do is take off the rind and just discard that into the trash. Because again, we're only feeding through what we actually eat. All right, so now we move on to prepping the carrots. And some people just like to peel the skin of the carrots, but that really wastes a lot of carrot, and carrots don't make that much juice anyways, unless you have the huge ones like this. So what I have is 2 cups of water, a half a cup of just regular white distilled vinegar, and then I'm gonna juice half a lemon and just put that right on in there. And this will help clean all of your veggies, so your carrots, your kale, anything that needs the outsides cleaned. So we actually eat the skin of the carrots. So what you want to do is clean the skin of the carrots really well. And what I do is just put it in here and scrub it off. So to scrub it, I'm using a paper towel. If you have a reusable cloth that you like to use, definitely feel free to use that. You can put this mixture into a spray bottle. So if you juice more often than I do, I just do this maybe once or twice a week. But if you're doing this for, every day or trying to do a cleanse, you might want to invest in something a little bit more reusable. But what we want to do is just make sure that skin is clean so there's no bacteria. And after we get all the skins clean, then I will show you how these need to be chopped. Once your skins are clean, it's time to start prepping the carrots. The first thing you want to do is take off that back end. Don't eat that. And toss that in the trash. Check your front end. If it doesn't look very well to you, take it off. I do. And we want to do the same thing, similar to what we did with the pineapples is try to make them as long as we can so that when they feed through, it just kind of takes the chunks off. Smaller carrots like this, you don't really need to do anything besides take the end off and just feed it through, because your juicer is going to cut that. But for a larger carrot like this, what you want to do is try to center it, get your knife in there really good in the groove, and then just cut it straight down. And then take it and cut it down one more time. And this is a pretty good chunk to feed through, and it won't get held up in your juicer. So that's what you want to do to all the carrots. If they're thin like this, you can keep them, but once they start to get thick, you want to take them down as much as you can to the point where when you feed them through, it's going to be fine. So after you chop your carrots, if you're like me, you might want to take it through one more time and scrub the skin just to make sure you got all the dirt off. But once you have all of your fruit ready, you can start to feed it through the juicer and see your results. So the type of juicer we're using today is called a masticating juicer. I will drop some popular brands down there for you guys to look at and decide the best one that is going to be right for you. We are going to make about 2 glasses of juice today. It should be about 900 to 950 milliliters. And once I turn this on, we're going to just go for it. I like to start with the pineapple. It makes the most juice, and it just kind of tells me where we need to be once we get through this whole juicing process. And you have this little thing here to help push it down. Next up, we're going for the carrots, and then we're going to finish off with the oranges. So now we have the carrots and pineapples in, and we had to clean out our little waste, and we will go for the oranges. Now that we have the juice done, it's time to mix it and bottle it up. And so what I like to do is pour it into just a nice pitcher like this to help me mix up all the flavors. And I take a giant whisk and whisk it around. And next we're gonna add in our seasoning. So you wanna add in a half teaspoon of pepper and a full teaspoon of turmeric. Once you get your seasonings in, you just want to whisk it around. And I promise you want to give it just like a really good, if you give it a good whisk, you won't taste the flavors as much as you think you will. Once you put it in, you might think, oh my gosh, there's a lot of pepper and a lot of turmeric, but I promise you will not taste it. And then once you get everything together, you just want to pour them in your bottles. And once you're finished, just give it a little shake. Put it in the fridge, and you're good to go. And when you're juicing, decide what the reasons are for your juicing. A lot of people will tell you that you shouldn't juice every meal, and I agree with that. Too much of anything is not good for you. For me, I like to do this. This is a post-workout, so if I work out in the morning, this will be my breakfast, and I'll have a regular lunch and a regular dinner. So decide what you're juicing for, and find some juices that will help aid in what you're trying to achieve. So there are some out there for inflammation. There are some for diabetes management. There are these that will help and boost your immunity and help with post-workout recovery. So decide what you're doing and just juice away. Yo, 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 yo.